Hey everybody, it's your host, Donni Rae, and welcome back to She's Got the Lead. I am super excited for everyone who is here and tuned in to my first episode. And today we are going to be talking about how it was time for me to finally understand my calling. Now, I'm going to do like some debriefs. I'm going to tell my story, like my testimony. Well, what I felt like is my testimony, and it'll be little tidbits in there about what it really means to truly understand your calling. So listen closely because I tend to be able to ramble, but I really just want people to get something out of this because in my journey, there's been a lot of, it's just been a lot of like fallbacks, having to pick myself up, questioning if this is for me, but really my journey has been about me having the courage to take leaps of faith. So, a little bit of background about me if you're new here or, you really don't know who I am. My name is Donni, or you can call me Donni Rae. I'm 23 years old. I just graduated from the University of Pittsburgh. I grew up in the DMV area in Prince George's County, Maryland, and I was born in Pittsburgh. And me and my parents moved here when I was 6 years old. So let's go back. My main goal is to become an NFL sideline reporter. Now, as I'm getting older, things are changing. Like my perspective is changing, the world is changing. So we will get into that a little bit later. But that is my goal. And I knew that I wanted to be a sports reporter when I was 14 years old. So when I was 14 years old, I remember coming back from eighth grade. I think it was like the last week of eighth grade. And I was so nervous to start high school. I'm like, bruh, I'm sitting back like I gotta have everything figured out. Like high school is the big leagues. Like I was super scared. I'm like, I gotta know what I want to do because when I graduate, like, I'm like, I gotta start working towards that in college. Like college, you definitely gotta know what you want to do. Little did I know, but whatever. It benefited me in the long run. So I was always an athlete from when I was like 6 years old. Competitive cheerleading, track and field. Those were like the two main sports that I've done. But I was just always super athletic, so I knew sports is where my heart was. Um, and I came home from school and I seen this lady on TV. I believe it was Lisa Salters or Erin Andrews. And I'm pointing at the TV. I'm like, hey, mommy, what is this lady called? Like, what does she do? I seen a football field and I seen her with a camera and a microphone. And my mom was like, she's called a sports reporter. I pointed to that TV and I said, that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. Because at the time I didn't know what it was, what it was called. But I'm like, when I seen it, I started chasing that dream ever since I was 14 years old. And it's been working out for me. I can't lie. So, as I went through like high school, I did the whole journalism thing. I did the newspaper. I started a club called the Sports Management Club where we was interviewing people. Like everybody in high school knew that that's what I wanted to be. I probably said it almost every single day for real. Like this is who I'm gonna be, right? Um, College. I graduated in 2020 from high school. The pandemic hit, and I was committed to Towson University and we weren't allowed on campus. So I was like freaking out about that again, like how I was back in ninth grade. And I'm like, man, people got to know who I am when I go on campus because I'm already going to be missing a year. They're not going to know who I am. I wanted to join the newspaper. And I'm like, they ain't going to little dog me. Like, I'm big dog, right? So it came down to the point where I'm like, I gotta do something to show them. Like when I come in, I want to start where I don't want to start at the beginning. I want to be where the pros is at, the vets are at, right? So that's how She's Got the Lead was born. Um, it started because really me and my dad always talked about sports all the time. I don't know how my mom didn't get tired of it, but we talked about sports all the time, especially when we would come home from work at dinner. And it was just like a ding, ding, ding that went off in my head. Me and my dad was talking about something, probably the Steelers, because they frustrate us, right? And I'm like, hold up. I got an idea. We should make this into a show. So I just started brainstorming. She's got what? Like, I just needed she in the name. So I'm like, she's got game. No, those is named after a pair of shoes. So I'm like, nah, we're gonna go with she's got the lead, because I learned in college that the lead means like on a new story. You got the lead on a new story. So I'm like, bet she's got the lead. I took like my senior picture. So in the logo, that's me as the silhouette throwing up a football, right? And it just took off from there. Me and my dad set up something in the dining room table, and we just grew it. It not only helped me like grow being comfortable talking in front of the camera, which was something that I've never done before at the time, and it just got me comfortable with the thought that people would actually listen to me. And this goes back to me understanding my calling, or how I knew this was for me. People were actually listening. Like, I was posting little reels. I think I was posting the whole episode on Instagram reels, because they were allowed to be long. And I was getting like over 1,000 views. And I'm like, hold up. People are actually interested in me, or like what I have to say. And that meant something to me. So I'm like, we got to hit the ground running and take off with this, right? And I'm so grateful that my dad was, a part of that journey, because that's like my best friend. He made me comfortable with being able to do something like that. He's really the one who got me interested in sports, seeing the way that he loved it. I'm like, maybe I can love it like this too. And I ended up doing that. And he's never thought about being in front of the camera. So for him to do that and just work with me and take it as serious as he did, I will truly always remember that. So that's like the start of it. I ended up transferring. Everybody knows that I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh. Boom, there I did radio, on camera, sideline reporting, more sideline reporting for like an actual network. And I just really felt like those 2.5 years in Pittsburgh, like I was on top of the world. And the real thing that made me feel like this was really for me again was experiencing post grad. Now, this goes back to me being where I am today, which is sitting in front of this camera, because for years I've had She's Got the Lead, and over the course where I was at Towson or just away from my dad, like, I didn't do it. I never thought that I could sit in front of a camera and have a mic and talk by myself. Like, I was just terrified, even though I'm on camera in front of thousands of people. When I would report for like school or posting them on Instagram, like I just was running away from it. And post grad, if they don't tell you this, it is a very depressing like time. Not for everybody. So I'm going to speak on my experience. Back in December, and I moved back home to Maryland, and I just thought the things that I did at Pitt was going to propel me forward. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to have ESPN knocking at my door, right? Anybody knocking at my door. I was applying to like news stations, whatever. Now, I did get a couple of job offers. I was going to take the news route. Then I'm like, I got to take the sports route. Like, there was just so much going on between what, January to May. And this is what I really want people to understand, that when God is telling you no, or like you think it's a no, it's really a not yet. Because everybody knows that God's no's are redirection, their protection. And every no that I was getting from job interviews, because I was getting them, I was getting the job interviews, I just wasn't getting the job. It was like they just got easier and easier. I just kept bouncing back stronger, like, and I took it as like a chip on my shoulder, like everybody else would. And I'm like, okay, you don't, I wouldn't say they don't believe in me, but that's just the word I'm going to use right now. Okay, this employer doesn't believe that I have what it takes to make their news station better, but I know that I have what it takes. So post grad, I'm like, I'm going to the Commander Stadium, because it's like 10 minutes down the street. doing stand-ups. I'm reporting in front of the Commander Stadium. I'm making up stories. I'm doing that, but I still wasn't super duper consistent with it because I'm like, something just doesn't feel right. I'm like, I want to work in sports. I'm focusing on news. Then I started applying to sports teams. Still wasn't getting nothing with them. And again, every no got easier to the point where I'm like, bro, you know what? Maybe God is telling me to take a step back and to actually rebirth or like put the work into something that you already have, which was She's Got the Lead. Because I even had sit downs with my friend. If he's watching this, you were an inspiration for this too. But I had sit downs with my friend, and he's like, there's people who act like they're on TV, but you are actually on TV and you're afraid to take that leap. And I still just wasn't getting it. I still wasn't understanding it until I kept being told no. Like, I was always one of those type of people, like, if the lights wasn't on, I really wasn't doing it. Even though I was good at it, I was always just like a action type of person. Till I really had to sit back and think like, this isn't, track, or this is something you actually have to work for, because this is what you want to do. This is how you want to feed your family. Like, you got to sit and you got to practice and you got to, really ground yourself in what you want to do, because this is who you want to be. And I felt like God was just telling me like, this right here, She's Got the Lead, is where I'm supposed to be. And once I actually started to feed into that is when doors started to open. I started to actually feel happy that I was investing my time and my own money into something that I could build at my own pace and, just launch when I was ready. And this is like, I don't know, it means a lot to me because people have watched me like go up, go down, go up, go down. And now I finally feel like I'm at an up point where I'm comfortable with saying like, right now I don't have an actual job where I work every day, but I have something that I'm working towards, and this is that. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but this is what I mean by like, it was just time. Like, God is going to keep making things harder for you until you sit back and you do the thing that you were running away from. Like, you ever hear the saying, you got to do what you were put on this earth to do, because there's somebody else who needs your advice or your story to do what they were put on this earth to do. And I felt like, even though I was running, this was still the perfect time for me to launch what I'm doing, because I went through 4 years of college being on camera and getting comfortable with the fact that I had a story to tell, that I was telling people my story, and that they were willing to listen. This was still the perfect time, but now that I'm doing it at the time that I'm doing it, my story is going to be something that somebody else needs to hear to start theirs. And it's been happening ever since I've posted the fact that I am relaunching and I'm doing it and I'm showing the steps, I'm showing the process. Like, I posted it on LinkedIn and people are just like, I needed this. And I'm like, yo, you really never know that there's people watching you, waiting for you to take that step because they need this to take theirs. And that's literally what happened. Like, my favorite Bible scripture is Esther 4:14. Like, perhaps you were made for a time such as this. So that's just how I looked at the entire thing once I graduated. I was made to be my own brand. And I'm going to take off and I'm going to run with it. It's going to either work or it's not. But regardless, like, I'm going to be doing what I was put on this earth to do. And I think that's telling not only my story, but other stories. I was meant to go through those interviews and not get the job. I was meant to, have my head down for a little bit, but come back stronger, go back to the next interview stronger. I was meant to, again, not get that job, but launch my podcast so that the people who didn't see something in me, you have no choice but to see me now. And this is what this is for. So the last thing before I go, somebody asked me, what's been the toughest thing that you've learned in this male dominated field? I'm gonna be real clear. I learned that it's male dominant. Like that's just what it is. That's the reality of it. Um, being not only a woman but a black woman going to the school that I went to, which was a PWI, being so football based because I do feel like basketball is allowing women to, be in those rooms a little bit more. Football, yeah, there's a lot of women that we see like on the sideline and stuff, but football is still a male dominant sport because they don't have like a female version of that sport. Like how they had NBA has the WNBA. Like there's other female leagues, but you get what I'm saying, right? So when I was at Pitt, I was allowed at practices, I was allowed at games, allowed on the sidelines, and there were times, I will not use no names, but there were times where coaches or men who were affiliated with the team would come up to me and be like, "Who are you?" Even though I've been in those rooms for over a year, people would still question me. And I'm like, "Bro, like I've been coming to the practices for a minute now. How do you not at least recognize my face? You don't have to know who I am, but you don't recognize me. You're questioning why I'm here. You're thinking that I'm here for a reason that I'm not here for." And that was something that I never experienced before in my life until I got to Pitt. And I'm just like, every single time or every day that you are in this field or you have an opportunity, you have to literally prove why you're in that room. Like, they're going to see me, a girl, like that just looks the way that I look. Like I don't look like I like football. I don't look like I watch sports or can sit down and talk to people about sports or look like I can call a game or even look like I would sit and talk in front of a camera for hours about sports. Like I don't look like that. And yeah, like I just had to sit there and like prove each and every time like, "Oh, I'm here for an interview," or I'm mentoring this group of people because they're going to interview, like, "Oh, I'm the sports director," or "I'm the sports anchor, the sports reporter." Like there was just always, there was never a time where I really didn't have to sit and like show people that I meant business. And that was the toughest thing that I had to do because I never in my life, like when I was doing sports, running track, like I would do one thing and be like, "Oh yeah, she means business," and I never had to prove myself. Like after that, they just, you just knew. It's like in this industry, because it's so large and you're in different rooms every single time that you want to do something or that you grow, you don't, like, you have to demand that respect every time. You have to prove yourself every single day. And for real, I'll be honest, I don't get tired of it because I like to see the shock on people's face when they be like, "Oh, she really knows what she's talking about," or "Oh, she's really passionate about this," because this is meant for me. Like this is my calling. I know it is. Like I've been through so much these past couple of months just to be able to sit here and say this with confidence and with so much passion in my heart. Like this is for me and I don't want to have it no other way. This is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life outside of sports. Um and all I can say is that I'm ready for the ride. I'm taking you guys on this ride. If you are interested in my stories, other people's stories, athlete stories, this is the place for you. You're going to get a little bit of everything. I always thought like I had to have a niche when I had a podcast, but I do have my hands in everything, and it's not a disadvantage for me anymore. It's more of an advantage, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So, thank you all for listening. I hope that you all got something out of this. Make sure you all are following me on all of my social media platforms. She's got the lead at the Donni Rae on Instagram and TikTok as well. Make sure you're subscribing if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you're following on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And there will be drops every other Friday at 12 p.m. And like I said, just be prepared for a little bit of everything. Heck, shoot me a DM if you want me to touch on something that I didn't touch on. Like I'm really ready to take this to the next level. Um and lastly, If you stay till the end, you are an OG, okay? If you stay till the end, thank you so much because I do have a surprise. This will not be the only episode coming out the day that it's coming out because did y'all think that I was gonna let the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers and I didn't have nothing to say about it? So yes, if you stay till the end, you know that there's a surprise of a double drop on the release date. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next episode.